A group of fully armed terrorists launched a surprise attack on an Air Force base. They entered the base smoothly. They went to a fighter jet loaded with nuclear warheads, preparing to use the plane to attack the city. At that moment, an off-duty pilot was driving back to the base but was intercepted by the criminals guarding the gate. The military headquarters received the news and immediately sent out special forces to provide support. Meanwhile, the pilot went to another fighter jet, preparing to intercept the terrorists. But suddenly, the terrorists chased him and fired wildly at him. The pilot had no choice but to quickly take cover behind a shelter. As the terrorists closed in, the special forces arrived just in time and successfully rescued the pilot. By this time, the terrorists had already driven the fighter jet onto the runway, and the special forces swiftly killed the terrorists who were blocking the way. Next, the assault team leader drove an armored vehicle and fired wildly at the terrorists' fighter jet, but he didn't hit the target. Now it was up to the pilot to pursue the terrorists in the fighter jet. Soon, the fighter jet caught up, quickly locked onto the terrorists' plane, and prepared to destroy it. But unexpectedly, the plane showed a malfunction warning. It turned out that the missile system had been damaged. The pilot could only use the machine gun to fire at them. Suddenly, the terrorists' fighter jet stopped in midair. Seeing the situation was getting worse, the headquarters immediately ordered the launch of surface-to-air missiles near the nuclear power plant. At the same time, the terrorists targeted the pilot and fired 2 cruise missiles. The pilot immediately performed a 360-degree aerial spin to dodge, released decoy flares, then shut down the engine, letting the plane fall vertically. He quickly restarted it and flew close to the ground. Just as he was about to crash into the hill in front, he sharply increased the engine power and ascended vertically, successfully destroying the missiles. At this moment, the surface-to-air missiles were closing in on the terrorists' fighter jet. But unexpectedly, the terrorists hacked the missile guidance system and easily evaded the surface-to-air missiles. Just as the terrorists were about to drop the missile on the city, the pilot flew his fighter jet quickly in front of the terrorists' plane, trying to interfere with them using the exhaust. The terrorists were completely enraged and began to fire wildly at the pilot's plane from behind. The pilot took the opportunity to lead the terrorists into an uninhabited sandstorm, which would not only avoid civilian casualties but also help evade the bullets. But the fighter jet's engine couldn't last long in the sandstorm, and soon both planes had to ascend urgently. At this moment, the terrorists' fighter jet suddenly stalled and stopped in midair. Seeing this, the pilot immediately shut down his engine, turned around, aimed at the terrorists, and pulled the trigger.